Hello, everybody, and may the fourth be with you. So, for this particular Star Wars day, I'm going to give my overview of The Mandalorian Season 2, as I have a few other reviews that I got to finish up and get right to you, along with a lot of things, content coming your way. So, but I got to have time. um, so, my new format to these TV shows is that instead of trying to go through every detail and every episode piece by piece, I try to give you an overview of what I felt, what I saw, what may have stood out to me, and from there, what you get as a whole. So, I didn't have these down by name, but so The Mandalorian season 2, episode 1. Oh, by the way, just to remember with this overall feel and review, there are a few light spoilers throughout. So, just a heads up, these are not spoiler free. So, the first episode felt very similar to season 1. Definitely had some interesting stuff, and they did a lot of world building, which I think that's something that is a very strong portion or strong thing for them. At the same time, it had a feel of season 1, which I think this was a way to ease you in. Kind of like basically trying to get you back into the groove because it's been a minute. Uh, I love the Fight Club setup. I would like to see more of that. It was really cool. And it also showed that Mando can throw them hands. But the show ends up going back to Tatooine. I'm kind of getting tired of Tatooine, but it's not the show's fault. Just as a whole, I'm tired of Tatooine. I get it; it's a location, but I'm tired of it. Show still handle it just fine. Definitely, of course, has that Western feel, and Tatooine is great for it. And love me some Westerns, so I love that dearly. I thought it was so cool to see Timothy Oliphant and them teaming up. I love that guy. He just has such a coolness about him. I mean, I still think Hitman is a great video game movie, and he phoned that performance in. So, yeah, that guy's cool. It was really cool to see him. And one of these days, I got to finish that show, Justified. I'll get to it one day. I have so many things to do. So find out about he's playing a character named Kofan, and he has another bad past, and they kind of go through their thing. But what's really nice is that there is a big threat that's happening, and it's kind of like this looming thing over the story. I thought that was nice, and uh, the episodes have their nostalgia throughout. You got the Tusken Raiders, uh, Oliphant's Pod Racer thing, and they kind of hint to Anakin. And then you got the lady from before. Oh, and when he does that cry, I think it's the dragon cry, whatever it was. That was a nice callback to when Obi-Wan did it. Very long episode, almost a full hour, but it did feel like a side quest. And I didn't think that was a bad thing, actually. I like that it had a side quest. It had big action. A lot of it, was brought into the sun. It wasn't nighttime fighting, especially for the stuff they was fighting. So that was impressive. Not only shows important, but they had this like Monster Hunter kind of flow. But it also showed that they definitely upped their budget. Baby Yoda hiding in a pot, that was just flat out adorable. Just all Baby Yoda doing anything is just amazingly just cute. But yeah, so that was pretty much episode 1. It was a lot of retread, but all was in a good thing. Built up some world, didn't really move the plot thing, and then you got to episode 2, which I like to call the Crybaby episode because people need to stop whining about every little thing and become stronger, get a stronger resolve, or turn it off, kind of thing. It was a darker, it had a little dark comedy in it. But I'm sorry, I found all the gripes to be dumb. These people are crying about Baby Yoda eating eggs. It was funny because the eggs are unfertilized. It's similar to when people, when people eat chicken, but people are like, "Oh, I can't believe it! He's destroying their race. It's so dark." I'm like, they have other eggs. That it's totally fine, guys. Stop overthinking it. Stop crying. Woman up, man up, adult up. There you go. Adult up. Handle dark things. Get over it. But people were like, it was just annoying. I found it funny. Um, and like I said, it was fine. Just call your grams, call your parents, and move on. So, besides the crybabiness, which was funny, get over it. It also had a very horror feel to it, which I noticed that some of these episodes have been touching on these little genres, and I kind of like that space episodic thing, but then yet it can still give you a different flavor. Um, and I like that we got to see a few space monsters. And I mean, anybody that knows me knows I love me some Alien, and it had that Alien feels. Uh, but definitely it was some more character building, some more world building. Didn't really advance the plot again, but it was more focused on advancing the characters. That's what I felt, and I thought that was okay again. Um, it plays up how Mandalorian can view his quest and how he was taken in versus the Frog Lady's quest, and he started to respect that they may be on the same level of trying to save it. He was also starting to show he was having a little bit more of a hero role, slowly but surely, as he this made his life harder, but he felt it was something that he needed to do to help, and I thought that was cool, especially when she pulled the code out on him, which I thought that was also interesting that she knew the code of the Mandalorians. Baby Yoda was obsessed with eggs, though. Now, like I said, even though I found it funny and I think people overreacted and cried too much instead of adulting up, it was a little weird how Baby Yoda was like heavily about eggs. And I did find it interesting when they did the hatch, when he hatched the one to eat it. He's just like, I don't even know what this is, eat it. And I'm like, stop eating everything. Um, but then it was like all the spider things opened up when he found an egg. I was like, I'll eat this. And I think it was more of that we sense food and you also killed one of our young, so we're coming after you kind of thing, which I thought that was really cool. And Baby Yoda still seems to be wrestling with a very childlike personality, childlike actions, especially when it comes to right and wrong versus self-serving. Even though he's 50 years old, and it seems like he does know some stuff, he still doesn't talk. He still kind of gets the world, but he kind of doesn't. Like he's still like a baby mode, but he understands a lot of things, and I guess that's why Yoda's species becomes very wise. Um, but the Mando has to go beyond himself, and I thought that was really cool. Those spiders reminded me of the spiders that we saw in Rebels, but I do know the mouth has a longer proboscis or whatever. And I love this, and Mando evolves beyond just being a guardian. In this, you started to see him become a parent. And I like that the horror element was there. But you've seen a good character growth of where his head at, who he is, and it was no longer just a hey, I'm just here. They started to view each other and to care about each other. And I honestly thought that was great. So now on to episode 3. We follow the formula. But now we get Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan, and it looks like she walked right out the the show. Voice actor becomes the actor, always nice. We see some of Moff Gideon. I thought that was cool that now we're starting to see this flow. You got to see where they were. You got to see everything is. The groundwork was laid. Now we're starting to jump into the plot. Ashoka gets mentioned. You also have to get the whole uh, when they start explaining the Mandalorians, it starts to make more sense about when they say this is the way. It's more of a religious thing of this is the way, like the gospel says it kind of thing. And you also learn why Mandalorian keeps his helmet on and doesn't take his helmet off in front of people. And like if you've seen Sabine, she takes her helmet off. Multiple Mandalorians do take their helmets off, but this particular crew doesn't. So they have that warrior clan, that religious feel, kind of like a zealot thing. but she's like trying to show him something else, like maybe it's not what you think. So now there's another layer to the mountain of who this character is, and another thing for him to get over, especially when they mentioned the stuff about the Death Watch. And it was funny because it was like it had this irony to it that a former zealot was trying to fix a zealot, a current zealot, and I really like that. And the other Mandalorians are so cool. Of course, Sasha Banks, the boss, added points for me right off the bat because I'm a wrestling fan. So wrestlers coming in, yeah. Oh, the show also had the Empire showing you what they felt. Look, they were different. They kind of felt like gangsters, and that's what I've noticed with some of the past stuff. They have this gangster feel to them, which reminded me a little bit of the idea of Red Dawn, amongst others. And you know, by this episode, look, Baby Yoda helped redeem himself with the egg thing. Yay, get over it. Egg crisis averted or over. So season 2, episode 4. You got another more world build. Cara Dune, Carl Weathers, who also directed this episode, um, and showed up. And yes, Action Jackson was behind the camera. Totally worth it. Totally awesome. Carl Weathers is great, and I'm glad he's getting work and being known for this and got some Star Wars in him, for his resume. And like Maul Gideon, we do see that this story progresses even more. And with everything going on, it wasn't heavy handed, and it reestablished Baby Yoda's importance. Like the Metachlorian, and they had the blood work stuff where they tried to make super soldiers, and some of the clones reminded me of Snoke. Whatever, it did. I thought the Dark Troopers thing was an interesting idea, and then it was like also explaining like what a lot of these people want. And it's nice to also see a very stoic but deep thought character in Mando. And the fact that he raised his helmet a little bit in this episode to take a drink in front of Baby Yoda, I thought that was interesting because normally, even to eat or anything in the first season, they had to leave before he took off his helmet. The character Mithral was like making a lot of joke after joke, and they were like threatening him, like, shut up, we're about to carbonite you, basically shoot you out the airlock. I thought it was actually pretty funny, but just because to see that different dynamic of a character that's not so hardened by battle to see what it is. Had some references, not a bad episode again. I will say Mithril did get a little annoying, and I understood where their frustrations were coming from. So I think he accomplished his job. Now you got season 2, episode 5. We get live action Ahsoka with Rosario, who I always thought should play Ahsoka in live action. There's a very similar feel, similar taste. I liked it. As a great man once said, "Oh hell yeah!" So was feeling all that with Ahsoka. She felt it. She flowed it. I've said it before, and I say it again, and I will continue to say it. Ahsoka, in my opinion, is by the end the best female produced out of Star Wars, along with Cara. Like Ahsoka has such an amazing story. She literally started to carry me through Clone Wars because I did my review of Clone Wars, and if I remember correctly, I did it season by season before I got to this format. And Clone Wars was a little rough for me to get through in the beginning because I was just like, I don't care about Anakin, I don't care about this. But the character Ahsoka, I used to complain before I really got into the show, like I guess back in the day, I was just like, I don't like the prequels. I don't want to support the prequels, so I'm not going to support this cartoon show. But of course, later I watched the cartoon show when I got a little older and a little bit more mellow. I was also very upset because I was like, why does he have a apprentice? He's not at the level yet. He wasn't a Jedi Knight yet to have that apprentice or a Padawan. And then on top of that, you don't really see her in the movies. But now, as the show progresses, and this one, you do understand why. And with Rebels and Clone Wars and everything all together, it came together why she wasn't there in the movies like that. So I thought that was really cool. That top 5 favorite characters for me, Dave Filoni. There were so many little Rebels references all day, every day when it comes to Rebels. And also the connection to the baby I thought was cool. They mentioned Thrawn, Grand, Emperor, or talked about Grand General Thrawn, which was a great setup. Which I'm going to assume that that's what her series is going to be about. Her going after them. Breaks down for me with Star Wars. My favorite show is Star Wars Rebels. My favorite movie is Force Awakens. Deal with it. Don't care what you say. It's this. I don't care. I actually really like Force Awakens. Um, but my favorite Star Wars thing is still Mandalorian. Now, when I looked at Rosario's performance, she felt like Ahsoka and had this full badassery about her. Her and Baby Yoda had like that connection. I thought that was really cool. And their interaction was very lovely when they were passing each other. It was like they could feel that power. It was just interesting how they had a connection. And then it was talking a little bit about how Baby Yoda was hidden after Order 66. And, with Mando, who hid Baby Yoda? What was going on there? Uh, Also, because those two, Baby Yoda and Mando, have that bond, it's going to be rough to make him a Jedi because Jedis are not supposed to have those kind of things. Now, the question is, like I said, how did Baby Yoda get here? Uh, all that, and why some of his memories gone? How does Gideon know about Baby Yoda? And she will. And it was also interesting because when they acknowledged her as a Jedi, if you remember from the series, she actually did walk off from it. But Luke was a Jedi, mostly self-proclaimed. Um, but I did think it was really cool that she wouldn't train him because she was looking for Ezra, but she was like, and I was like, yes, Ezra, yes. But she was also talking about like, they were talking about be careful of the darkness. Also, this episode had some samurai feel to it, which was nice contrast with the Western feel. We had one shot of the Western thing, but I like that whole samurai flow. I thought that was really awesome, and I thought it was different, and it was lovely. Like I really liked seeing that samurai thing. It felt like it just fit. Um, then we got to do Black Saber with payoff. Got more questions through and through. Excellent. Now you get to season 2, episode 6. More action than expected. Also, it was a Robert Rodriguez episode. Perfect guy to do the acting with team up of Ming Na Wen's character, I think Sophenic, and also Boba, which was very good. Also, I liked how they explained the cybernetic thing and how it can, they can make that live again. Kind of like felt like a callback to Darth Maul's, with this. And they truly show Boba is not a joke. And sorry, that Snarlack pit thing, I never got over that. Again, it was like I knew people who loved Boba, but even in the books, it was just he got in that Snarlack pit 3 times. He would come back and visit it periodically and try to blow it up, and I'm just like, it's funny, but it's also a little sad because Boba is supposed to be this full-fledged BA force of nature, and I felt like this really redeemed him. He got to Tatooine, the whole thing. And for I have friend who became a Mandalorian fan way before the show ever happened, has a Mandalorian tattoo because he loved Boba Fett. We used to kind of mess with him and tease him because like Boba Fett fall in the Snarlack pit, gonna get rocketed out. But it was nice to see his armor. Boba Fett was like full fledged. Let me like rip these guys apart, and he was walking through them. So fans finally of this character, you have gotten your payoff. He had his moment of awesomeness, blowing stuff up, walking through them like he was nothing. Like, no, I'm Boba Fett. There's a reason why I'm Boba Fett, and I thought that was great. Like seriously, what? So cool to see how they use the mini projectiles and how they're hidden. Like his was on his knee. Like I said, they showed that true BA Boba Fett, and I think it was great. And it was his best outing to me in any form of media when it comes to live action or cartoons since the holiday special, which it showed him being very deceptive and stuff. And it was like the only thing. But this right here, this was the redemption. You learn what Jango Fett truly is, which I thought was really cool, and how he connects to Mando. Like I said, only light spoilers. You still gotta watch it. And I also like the fact that there was so much honor between Boba and Finnick and how they reminded me of the younger Boba from when he was in Clone Wars and how he had that honorableness about him. Also, Michael Bean. Almost forgot my nerd-o-meter, my geek-o-meter is off the charts right now with all the stuff that you see with all these different past actors that I grew up with and different stuff. Baby Yoda did that contact thing. I thought that was really cool how Baby Yoda did that. Um, at the time, I was hoping they would contact the Ezra, and Razor Crest was my favorite ship in Star Wars next to the Ghost. Slave One is okay, but give me the Razor Crest or Ghost. Really like Razor Crest for like that more. It's not a lot of space, but it's enough space. Kind of like a for me, my passenger, maybe others. It's not supposed to be a lot because I'm alone a lot. Um, and the Ghost ship was just so cool, but it died. But another great episode, and congrats to the Boba fans. Now you got season 2, episode 7. Bill Burr's character is back and team up, but a little breather for this particular episode after those couple episodes of just full destruction. Um had very good world build. I like the helmet removal. It was like, whoa, did this just happen kind of thing? And I like that he was very uncomfortable about it, and I thought that was awesome. It also showed his skills and how much he relies on his armor to do things. I had that like Mayfield. It was like satisfied. Um, but it still showed this season showed how really good of a fighter Mando is. I also like that Burr had like PTSD from being that sniper shooter. I thought that was really cool. And the show affects both sides, and I thought that was interesting. Also shows if you stand against Mando and what he wants, he will take you down. Good guy or bad guy, or doesn't matter. Rest in peace, rebels. Those Raider guys that were technically the good guys when they were trying to sell the stuff, but Mando was like, nope, take them out. Mayfield had an awesome shot as well. Kara and Finnick team up. That was cool. Boba, Boba doing what he do. I was like, just keep redeeming yourself, Boba. It's amazing. I love every second of it. And I really like that they had the time that was very well spent and how it was all handled. Everyone got to shine. Everyone got that flow. Now, the last episode, which is season 2, episode 8, The Rescue, Moff and Mando fight right there. That was the price of admission. It was a great fight. It was very well choreographed. I enjoyed myself very much. And what it means and the show may shift in this season from what it felt like. Great stuff in the battle, like now, no Baby Yoda, possibly in the future. How are they going to play this up? Because it had that team of the father son kind of thing. Where do you go? Now, we get to Luke Skywalker having a Rogue One Vader moment, redeemed for a lot of fans who had issues with him in Last Jedi. You got a nice post-credit scene in this series as well, which seems like is leading to that new spinoff with Boba Fett. And the full helmet removal and not caring about all that's in the room because he was having that tender moment with Baby Yoda and they were like looking and it was like that sad goodbye. That had me right in that with a lightsaber right in the heart, man. It was very powerful to see him and to have to say goodbye to that, and it was sad, but beautiful because it was like I will see you again. There was such a connection between those two. It just and Baby Yoda touches his face out of love. It was just beautiful, like so well written, so well done. Uh, Also want to point out that the Jetpack Tornado DDT did happen in this episode. You're a wrestler fan, you know what I mean. Yes, and it was the Dark Troopers, and it was funny because when Mandalorian fought one of the Dark Troopers, he was getting kind of torn up. But when Luke walked in the room, Luke was like, "You better catch these verbs," and started just tearing them apart to show just how crazy powerful Luke has gotten. But you do see how hard those Dark Troopers are setting up some political conflicts and the Mandalorian stuff with the whole black saber thing, which I found weird because I'm like, well, you were given it before. Why do you need to fight over it now? Hmm. I don't know, but maybe the rules have changed. So that could have been it. Luke to me looked awesome. I still would have been totally okay with Sebastian Stan Uh, could have been a stood in, and I would have been really cool with that because he does look like a young Mark Hamill, and that could have totally worked actually. And maybe they'll give Luke a kid later, and then he'll pop up in the movie and be like, "I'm Luke's son, the one you never knew about." um, Ezra would have been cool to see as well, and I was kind of hoping it was Ezra, but it wasn't. It was Luke, and I'm like, oh, I'm not mad about Luke. I did like that the Mandalorian and Luke didn't share any pleasantries. They kind of looked, and he kind of let him just do his thing because he just knew. But at the same time, there was like a look of emptiness there, and also let him go like that with the kid. I thought was very interesting, very fun. Had a lot of little fan service, and that abrupt ending was a very powerful statement. Altogether, solid season again. This rating is a blow my mind, and that's the ratings, and that's what we do. And it's time to skip the inevitable. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. So definitely another season of blow my mind. This is the Geek Protagonist. You stay safe. You stay healthy. You stay real. And I'll see you.